Alright, howdy there fellow Shadow Priests. Welcome to the 10.1 Shadow Priest experience. I am not going to go over the full overhaul in this video. I think that you can read those notes on Wowhead, or you can watch the previous video and kind of look in the direction that they are taking Shadow Priest, and I'll give you a little TLDR of the experience. So they removed Damnation and Instant Void Form because they felt that Shadow Priest, it was really hard to prevent them from scoring kills with all the damage that they were doing last season, which, you know, does make sense because basically zero Priest got rank 1 and every other class did more damage than us, so Blizzard really did their research there. However, they did give us some cool, like, wizardy casted damage spells, and we will talk about those and what that looks like right now. You can deal a lot of damage if you are not the target, and it does feel kind of fun. So I feel like we're mostly going to look to play with a Warlock or maybe even like a Frost Mage this season. You ideally want to get them off of you so you can actually get this damage off. So let's take a look at some of the talents that I am playing. I'm playing Mind Flay Insanity. We scrapped the Mind Spike Insanity. That did not feel great. You do have to cast that. They took away the instant procs, and it can create upwards of 100k if you have Dark Ascension active, but it feels pretty underwhelming to me, and I just like the way that Mind Flay synergizes with some of these other spells, even the PvP talent Mind Trauma, getting that additional haste, getting the dot extension there. Yeah, and even the 10% increase on your dots from Dark Evangelism I really like too. So I'm going to be playing Insidious Ire and basically looking to generate Insanity, get a Devouring Plague up, and then burst people with Void Torrent. And it's going to be really fun if you can get it off. I would say your first Void Torrent, if you get Devouring Plague up with PI, and then you pop like your badge, if you have one, or whatever, just use all your cooldowns, that is probably going to hit almost for 300k. You might see like a 280k Void Torrent total, and then it also spawns the Cthulhu Tentacle, which will give you another, 30k damage or so. So you can hit like a 300k Void Torrent over a few seconds, which feels pretty awesome. And then as well, when you Devouring Plague, I'm taking Screams of the Void, so your Vampiric Touch, Shadow Word Pain will deal damage 80% faster on all targets for 3 seconds. So that one does feel pretty fun. Now your apparitions are also going to do really solid damage as well in this build. You're going to have access to kind of just more insanity generation as well with this. Insanity generation feels really bad, so try to do anything you can to pick up that insanity generation when needed. A lot of people are going to play Mind's Eye because you're going to get a shorter DP use here. Like you can use it at 45 points instead of 50, but I actually like this one instead because you're going to maintain that ire buff for longer, which gives you a better window to get your Void Torrent up. Like say you apply Devouring Plague and then you get feared, and then your Devouring Plague is over and you can't get your Void Torrent off, you're gonna have to generate Insanity for like another 10 seconds to get that Void Torrent off. So I really like this one because it also gives you increased chances to proc those apparitions. When they hit targets with Devouring Plague, they will deal a lot more damage, and we'll see if we can find any like damage breakdowns where the apparitions are doing something. You can see they're hitting for 12k, not the best, but still doing more damage than they were previously and generating Insanity. Cool, so that's like a little view on the talents that I'm going to be playing. We'll pop over to look at a spec. If you want to play Unfurling Darkness and Shadowcrash, which I think most people are going to need if they're not used to fake casting, or if they're playing a comp where they're getting trained. Like if I queue into a Turbo Cleave and I know they're going to go on me, I'll probably end up taking something like this just because I know that I will struggle to get dots out. I still want the Void Torrent, I still want the Ire, but then even then maybe what you say is you just say, you know what, fuck the Ire, I'm going to go back and just take the spirits here and that, and maybe that's maybe this is what's for me if I don't want to cast too much. But really, I do like the fun that you get from adding all those modifiers together, and then getting the burst combo off is nice. So let's take a look at some gameplay now. That's a little shortened experience of my talents and why I'm playing them. I'm sure this stuff will change, so if you want to stay up to date, make sure to join the Discord. I'll put that in the description, and follow me on Twitch TV, and we will practice all of these fun builds. Let's just take a look at this Insanity generation too. Oh my god, I'm getting attacked by a fucking guard. So I'm just trying to generate Insanity. All Mind Games will give me some Mind Flay for like 2 points, and he's already dead before I can get it off, man. Fuck. I'm gonna Void Torrent the fuck out of this guy though. There it goes, there it goes. My tenties are out. So I kind of killed him before I even generated my Insanity. Once you're in Void form, it does feel a lot easier to generate Insanity. It's just a little slow start in the beginning of the game. But let's check out some gameplay. I do have some arenas that I did yesterday, and if you want to check out more of that content, I did stream for about 7 hours yesterday on Twitch TV. So let's check that stuff out now. Alright guys, this is my first arena of 10.1, my first arena skirmish, and I will say if you're playing these talents in 2v2, you are not going to have a great time. Like, you don't really have enough time to develop your damage, you don't have enough time to kind of sit back, relax, and develop your insanity. Every player is going to come out of the gates and one-shot you with their cooldowns. Shadow Priest does not have this ability, I will tell you that right now. It's going to take a bit. So the Feral opens up with Incarn, Hunter opens up with Beast-Style Wrath. You cannot CC them when they pop that now, which is just mind-blowing to me. So I can't even fear the pets off me, I don't think either. I'll fear the Feral. Can fear the second pet, I guess. Pick the Feral's kick. I'm going to stun him here, apply my dots, go right into Void Form and drop a Mindbender to generate Insanity. Use Vampiric Embrace, Void Bolt. I should have went for a Mind Games here instead of the Mind Blast. I don't know why I did that. I do get kicked by the Hunter, which is unfortunate, but I catch a heal from my Ret, Desperate Prayer. And now that I have finally, you know, 15 seconds later, I have enough Insanity to Devouring Plague, so I'm going to VT the Hunter, DP, and then instantly Void Torrent him, and watch how much damage this does. And this is my first ever Void Torrent in in an arena, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? That felt pretty good. I just killed a Hunter. The bad news is that guy could have feigned death and just didn't. So take a look at my damage. That Void Torrent did 235k. Devouring Plague did a lot as well. And then my dots were pumping out as well. So, I mean, it's a little tricky because I feel like, yeah, a good player could have just like feign death there or scatter shot it or something like that. But if you can set your damage up right, you really can kill people. I mean, I took that guy from like 75% to 0. He turtled at like 1% and died. I think your Void Torrent could do even more damage given the right procs and everything. I think that I've probably hit closer to like a 280k Void Torrent with everything up in the beginning. So let's check out some 3-3 content now. Alright, here's a game where I am playing the Shadowcrash and Unfurling Darkness just because I found that I might get trained by the rogue and I don't want to get spam kicked and stuff, so I'm going to get some dots up here. Unfurling Darkness is going to help me get that off. Can even potentially Shadowcrash. Looks like I already used it. Nice, I got everyone dotted up. So fake the rogue kick. Missed my fear completely like a noob. I'll pop Power Infusion, Void Bolt. Gonna go for a big Void Torrent on the rogue here, and of course just get him to cloak instantly. I mean, how often have you been able to do that as a Shadow Priest 6 expansion? I would say maybe like the first 2 weeks before we got nerfed, you could force cooldowns in the opener, but does not seem like I was able to do that before. So it feels nice that if I'm left alone in my own devices, I can actually crank people. So I think the idea here is to ideally play not with a warrior, but with a warlock. And if they don't go on your warlock, he will kill them. So that's what's nice about that comp. My dots did get repentance off, which was kind of a bummer. You know, we're not playing in voice or anything, so didn't really communicate that one. Gotta use time to redot people. Camera angle's all messed up. Keep the rogue dotted. Here comes a Devouring Plague. I have a Void Torrent available, so this should be big damn. And as you can see, we completely melt him again. We get the Dark Pact. Just really feels nice to force cooldowns when you're doing damage. Generating Insanity with Mind Blast. Doesn't really hit for anything though. Thanks, Blizzard. Put a Devouring Plague up here. Probably go for a Mind Flay Insanity next. This is cleaving with Psychic Link as well if you're playing Psychic Link, so that does feel nice. You can see my damage is looking alright. Not getting trained, feeling pretty good, doing a lot of damage. Get a little Tenty proc. Mind Game's a healer. It doesn't even break the fear. Interesting. I do have a Void Torrent available here, so I feel like I should sling it out, and this should just kind of end the game. Close enough. Tenties are proccing. Look, I'm kicked right now, but my Devouring Plague is ramping my dots at a faster pace, and my Tenny up, man. I'm purging, just dealing damage while being interrupted. It feels nice having like an NPC do your damage for you. So let's see if I have any more clips if I'm playing the spec without Shadowcrash, because I do feel like the damage potential is higher. So here we go. We got a Hunter Warrior. You can best believe that they are going to train the Shadow Priest, so not looking to go too crazy here, but rather just get my dots up and generate some Insanity. I do have a Paladin on my team, which is going to be awesome because I can call for Aura Mastery and I can get bopped, and that's going to enable me to get some of my damage off. So he bops me in the opener, they actually dispel it and go right back onto me. Kicks me, I'm calling for the Aura Mastery here, and gonna try to, I should have got the Shadow Fiend out to generate my Insanity as well. So sack on the Warrior means that we're going to probably swap to the Hunter here. Get the Aura Mastery up, Devouring Plague, Void Torrent, and just standing in their face, absolutely nuking, and I killed the hunter. So killed him in the opener, didn't even CC the priest, had silence, didn't even care, man. That damage is unhealable. No, but really should CC when you do that. So I didn't top damage, but I did just randomly kill someone in one Void Torrent. So not always going to look like that, man. The Paladin does add a lot of added utility for the Shadow Priest. Alright guys, real quick, this video is sponsored by Factor, and if you want to get 50% off your first box, check out the code FACTOR, SE36370. I'll put the code in the description, and you have access to all these wonderful, delicious meals. We'll save you time at the grocery store, no time to cook, no time to clean up. Just get right back to gaming and get fueled up with all these wonderful ingredients. So if you're thinking, you know what, man, I've been living off of chicken tenders and french fries, I need to step it up, get some of these keto meals, bulk up, or trim down, whatever you're trying to do, you can do that at Factor. They also have tons of fun, like little smoothies and protein shakes and stuff. So definitely check this out if you are looking to change up your lifestyle. All right, we're back at it, gaming against Mage Lock Shaman. So there's already a CS down. I'd have to just avoid shear. Demon Locks actually don't have CS anymore, which is kind of nice. So I'll fear the Shaman, which means he can't shear me. I'm polymorphed, but then out of this, I'm looking to deal the most damage possible. Get my Void Form off, DP. That brings the mage down to about half health already, which is awesome. And I'm going to channel my Void Torrent here and just watch this damage, man. This is unhealable. He tries to blink behind the pillar, but guess what? He's still getting Void Torrented, and they overlap, block, and Spirit Link. Then immediately I'm going to switch my damage to the Warlock. Notice I'm standing out of line of the mage and the shaman, so I cannot get interrupted here. And then just spam channeling my Devouring Plagues and Insanity, and we just swap to the Warlock and kill him instantly. So pretty solid burst, I would say there. You know, 52k DPS, got the mage to block, got the lock to Dark Pact, and just kind of killed him through it. Yeah, was a pretty solid performance from the Dark Magician. And like I said, games are not always going to go this smoothly, baby. You might get trained, there might be a melee cleave on you, but guess what? You could just play with a Warlock. So let's check out maybe like a Warlock game. Let's see what this looks like here. We're playing Affliction Shadowplay. There's no telling whether or not Affliction's gonna be good or not, but I figured, you know what? If they train him, I can do unhealable damage, and if they train me, he can do unhealable damage. So let's take a look at what goes on here. Getting my dots up. I do have shadowcrash and Unfurling Darkness, so again, I will lose a little bit of damage from those not having the apparition talents. I've got Aura Mastery up here, so I'm just gonna channel my Void Torrent. That's gonna deal tons of damage. Getting my DPS going already. I really need to dot this Druid and get a Mind Games on him as well. So here's a dot on the Druid. Trying to get it off. He tranks it, Unforge. Then looking to spam, get my Mind Flay Insanities off, develop my haste, all that stuff. Shadowcrash to apply my dots. Need to dot this Druid again. Too slow to kill the ground. So dotting the Druid, Mind Flaying him, gets repped off. God damn it, Hamsty, why are you playing rip? Anyways, looking to keep those dots up, dot the Druid again, Mind Flaying him. This is going to cleave the whole team at once, which is really great. So kind of just pick the lowest target and it'll spread the damage around to the others. Generally, I try to hit a target that doesn't have defensive cooldowns up. They go on to me, so I just choose to gate away, kind of get away. Allows me to sit here and cast for a second, develop some Insanity, get my VT back up, and here's going to be a juicy Void Torrent as well. I'm trying to separate myself from the Warrior so I don't get kicked. Dotting the Druid, going to silence him, and maybe even go for a Void Torrent onto the Shaman. My Devouring Plague does expire, so the damage isn't going to carry out the whole way through. Looks like we're just dealing a lot of damage. My Lock's doing 65k DPS while getting trained. They're like halfway training me and halfway training him. They don't really know what to do. I think that Shadowplay in general, whether it's Destro, Affliction, or Demo, is going to be a solid comp for S-Priest, because again, you get to just free cast if they go on your Warlock, and if they don't, your Warlock's probably going to kill them, man. Like, we both did tons of damage. You can ask this Druid if he had a good time. I would say he probably did not have a good time. So I think that is a lot of content for this video. That's just some general gameplay of, you know, looking on the brighter side of things. We actually have the ability to deal damage. Hopefully Blizzard can come in and tune some of these other classes, as well as maybe make some more changes to S-Priest, giving us maybe like instant Void Eruption would be so awesome. Oh my god, I would love that so much. I think they need to buff Insanity generation a little bit as well in PvP, and also like they need to make Mind Blast a useful spell, because you can't take a bunch of modifiers to just hit for like 30 or 40k. Like, that doesn't work in this meta. We're about to have 600k HP, and our Mind Blast hits for literally 12,000. So I don't know what to tell you, but in MOP, when we had 300k HP, I remember hitting 110k Mind Blast. So they need to really get their shit together and fix some of these Shadow Priest talents. Until then, I will be there gaming. I'll be here on Twitch TV. You can check me out there. And also, don't forget to just, post a comment and tell me what spec you're playing and leave your feedback, man. Like, that'd be great. I would appreciate that. So have a good one, and we'll see you on the next video. I expect to make a couple more videos throughout the next week to kind of get a handle on this Shadow Priest gameplay in 10.1. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.